not doing anything.
All right, ESPN released a story about Michigan and more information. Although I read it, I don't know. I know that there's text messages deleted and all that with Sharon Moore, who's now the head football coach who took over for Harbaugh. I honestly don't know if this is ever going to go anywhere. And I really was kind of happy when this thing went to bed at the end of last year. And then Michigan won the national title, if you like them or not. And then, but this is here is Jim Harbaugh's response. I never lie, never cheat, never steal. I was raised with that lesson. I have raised my family on that lesson. I have preached that lesson to the teams I've coached. No one's perfect. If you stumble, you apologize and you make it right today. I do not apologize. I did not participate, was not aware, nor complicit in those said allegations. So for me, it's kind of back to work and attacking with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
Well, one, Kim, I didn't say old a-holes. I said old ass people, that need, but Kim flies in the front of the nice planes, not like a Southwest flight like you and me. But I think that the allegations are so astounding in all the different things that they did. 58 games scouted. Connor Stalions on the sideline at Central Michigan, which is confirmed.
We knew that, though.
Deleted text messages and all these things are suspicious. Okay, you're telling me as the head coach of a program and your offensive and defensive coordinator are getting information from this guy. You were just saying, I don't know how he's getting it. What do you know? Like, do you really want me to believe that? That's where I just get annoyed because, you really didn't know.
But Michigan promoted him.
Yeah, and look, Michigan did it, and whatever.
One of the
go
stories,
ahead.
The draft could be subject to change, states that Moore could face a show cause penalty, possibly a suspension for allegedly deleting a thread of 52 text messages with former Michigan staffer Connor Stalions in October of last year. On the same day, media reports revealed that Stalions was leading an effort to capture the play calling signals of future opponents. Those text messages can always be found.
Well, they have been recovered.
And they have been.
They have been recovered, so we'll see what they say. The hard drives that I don't think they'll ever get back, but the hard drives that he removed, Connor Stalions was doing something. And to pretend like the Michigan coaching staff knew nothing about it and was just thinking that every day they were getting these lottery tickets of, he knows exactly, he's just good. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous to think that. And, if, again.
Where did Pete Carroll go after USC got hit?
He went to the NFL.
Yep, went to the NFL.
So,
and I don't know the exact timeline compared to USC, Reggie Bush, and all that, and then he's at the Seahawks.
And here's, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I would have just stuck on I'm not going to comment on these. I'm with the Los Angeles Chargers now. But when you go and make that Rafael Palmeiro, I've never done steroid statement, well, when they get that little jar of piss, things can change.
Former Michigan staffers Harbaugh, Chris Partridge, Denard Robinson, and also Stalions, also accused of committing level 1 violations. The one with Moore would be level 2. In the most serious category, the school also faces a level 1 violation charge because of its pattern of noncompliance within the football program, which is one of those things you may have heard that comment or two when it came to what SMU dealt with in the late 80s. And I'm not trying to, you can compare it if you want. I'm not saying that will ever be used in a point with what happened to SMU. Not with Michigan. And institutional efforts to hinder or thwart the NCAA's investigation. Jesse Minner and Steve Klinkscale, former coaches, also accused of recruiting violations unrelated to Stalions in the draft.
And their things are Jesse Minter, one of them, it's that hamburger thing again, or paid for a meal or gave them a ride where you're like, okay, we got guys landing in private jets. Like, are we really going to talk about giving somebody a ride?
Yeah.
Like, this is just silly. Why don't you just say, hey, the hamburger thing and the ride thing technically against the rules, and the COVID-19 thing we don't like. But let's drill down on this whole, you had a dude with spy glasses on the sideline of an opponent's opponent.
Yeah, that by itself is like damage.
That to me is...
Okay, paying for a recruit's meal, providing recruits with team gear, helping a recruit get verified on Instagram, for writing a $100 check for a golf charity. And we're seeing guys who are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's even an issue.
Like $100 to a golf charity?
It was run by the recruit's father.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm sure he put that towards his new beach house in Maui. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Obviously, something was going on that was not kosher. Something was going on that was a little bit espionage or whatever word you want. I don't know what it was. I'm not going to get riled up over it.
No.
We'll let the NCAA either screw it up or figure it out. And Michigan moves on and not sure. But this is a cloud that distraction, they fed off of that. They were good enough to use that as extra motivation as if they needed it. Plus, they were just a great football team. And so now they'll start the year. Remember, early on, they play at home against Texas. Ought to be interesting to see if this creates any distraction for them. They're still going to be pretty good. They've lost a lot, including their leader in Jim Harbaugh now to the NFL.
Their defense is probably the best one in the country even still. So they're going to be good, but this is going to follow them for a little bit, and it's going to follow them until the penalties are served or there's a final determination on it to varying degrees. And, the players were able to put it behind them last year because they just knew keep going forward. But if it just keeps popping up, it's going to be harder and harder for people to ignore, especially when you get a second head coach suspended, if that does indeed happen. If these come out and he gets suspended for 4 games again, now you're even further down the list because a lot of those guys are gone now. They went with Jim Harbaugh to the NFL, or they went and took NFL jobs. This is a largely new coaching staff with, even if they're promoted up, they're new to their jobs. So, you can't kind of, he was suspended at 2 different times last year, Jim Harbaugh was, at the beginning and at the end. And they won all those games. And they navigated through it really well and put the distraction behind them. And for most part, look, it's not, the players are only complicit in this to the fact that there's a coach on the sideline saying, watch out for the blitz. And they go, okay. I mean, that they're not going and scouting. They're just receiving the information. So it's not really on them. But if you've got coaches that are, going to be under this heat, it's going to be distracting for those coaches. And that trickles down.
Yeah. No, I don't know what they actually did. It does appear as if they were doing some things a little bit that were out of what would be normal protocol. I think teams having people at games and probably, I don't know if the word is spying or not, but I don't know how you unless you're just dumb and you use the same guy over and over again. But in this case, there were allegedly other people involved. We've heard, I wish it would just disappear. These kind of things, like it's the Tom Brady deflate gate. It wears me out. And not sure. I still will say this, though. Anything of vacating whatever is dumb.
No.
Dumb.
Just
dumb.
If
that even occurs.
Take away scholarships, suspend those coaches, fine the university. Those are the 3 things that you can really do that are going to hurt them. But because they're not going to do a postseason ban. Now, a postseason ban would be something, but that's not going to happen.
That would be the one that hurts. And we brought it up.
Especially to a team that expects to be among the top 12.
Well, you know what? What do recruits want? Money, an opportunity to be seen, an opportunity to play at the next level. And if you aren't going to a postseason ban now, could not be just a bowl game, could be 4 games if you put in a postseason ban. To me, that would be that would hurt the most for Michigan rather than taking away scholarships, because basically that could be doing the same thing if there's any kind of postseason ban. Now, let's go